Okay, so I'm pretty sure you gentlemen heard about the news from earlier today regarding tariffs. There's been some quite heavy blows being thrown by some mega powers throughout the world as far as country wise. Ivory, I know this is something definitely in your wheelhouse that you're very passionate about. Go ahead and just kind of discuss as far as what your thoughts are on this whole situation with tariffs, especially what happened earlier today.
Man, you know what? Thank you. I'm glad you said that. First and foremost, I hate this time that we're living in. I really do. I don't mean to be the negative Nate, but I don't like this time we're living in because everybody wants to like dig into a position. Everybody wants to be prideful and arrogant and say I won and my policy is better. I just feel like everybody just need to cool down because I mean we lost what $6 trillion in the stock market over the last week. $6 trillion with a T. So my thing is, it goes back to what Warren Buffett said. He said it takes 20 years to build a reputation, and it takes 20 minutes to lose that, right? And just 20 minutes, right? And we've seen that economy just drop so fast in a way.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of this is just bluster, man. A lot of this is just like chaos, no strategy. We just doing male
Hmm.
bravado and all this stuff. And I always will say this, bro. I don't care what you say. I don't care what nobody say. Strategy always kicks bravado's butt every time, full stop. So I would say the last thing on this, man, because this is gonna hurt us in the long haul. I don't care what nobody say, man. Like China was waiting for us. I don't care what nobody say. Like Trump can say whatever you want to say, but China was waiting for us. They was waiting for that. They already knew, okay, Trump gonna say this, we're gonna counter with this, and then we're gonna counter. And so I feel like it's just this bravado is not gonna work long term. And plus it's isolated us. We're as isolated as we could be. Countries, they don't know what to expect from us now. So this is going to be long-term ripple effects in this whole situation. But I would say this one thing. The one thing that I would say about Trump, I say a lot of things about Trump, but the one thing I would say in this context about our president is that you got to say, man, the guy got some stamina, man. I don't know where you get this stamina from. I don't know,
Hmm.
man. The guy, he just seemed like he got so much energy. I don't know if you guys see it that way, but I don't know, man. It's just a difference from like Joe Biden and Trump, like in terms of the energy levels. These guys
Hmm.
are like next level.
Well, he said he's the most healthiest president ever in history, so I'm not going to be concerned.
Not eating all that
Yeah.
McDonald's, but probably so.
Nah, I would say this though, man. To your point, Ivory, you talking about China was waiting. We all grew up with that one cousin. No matter what was happening, he was always ready to whoop. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be like, "Hey, man, I got to fight out there." He's ready to whoop. He's like he was waiting to whoop.
It's
That's what
quiet.
China. He was quiet. You
The
know what I'm
wish you
saying?
would, the wish you would, cousin.
The with the world cousin. And I think, and even I watched a documentary about what's the president of China. I always say it wrong.
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping, bro. That dude's a gangster, bro. That dude is he's Putin like, bro. Like that his backstory, bro. Like I like this dude is cut different. So people don't know that because even if you listen to his speeches are you hear in Chinese, but you see the American translation. If you go against us, we will beat you down and chop you up. Like his speeches are aggressive. So they're cut a little bit differently, right? To your point, Irie. And I say this too, man. I think the damage is going to be severe because this is not hey we okay Trump we do tariffs and we took them off. A lot of our trade partners are saying, "Dang, you know what? Japan is going to China. They just don't trust America." So the damage is going to be long term because they're slowly going to say we can't do business. And don't forget, they're still keeping the 10% tariffs. And at the end of the day, the Chinese tariffs are probably the most dangerous because China makes so much stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so China's been preparing for this. I remember we put the tariffs on Canada, and Canada specifically said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to put tariffs on liquor from red states." They came back with a strategic tariff. China's going to do the same thing. They're going to, you know what I'm saying? And you know what's interesting? I watch one of my favorite YouTubers is Man Tomorrow. Ivory knows that. He brought up a good point. He does trucking. So think about all we stopped, right? We said don't think about all the truckers and things like that. They're going to be impacted with less inventory. Not just don't just think about just the products going up, but hey, if you had a semi truck business, so you was hauling stuff, your stuff gonna slow down, costs go. It's gonna be a domino effect.
Yeah, and how I see it is this. And I'm kind of going back to your point, Ivor. When it comes to tariffs, tariffs are tariffs are a necessity. But there's an approach that you have to take strategically wise to make sure as far as them being inputted. And I just think what's going on right now, there is no strategy. It's literally just, at 8:30 this morning, China said they're putting 84% tariffs on the United States. And then 4 hours later, United States is at 125. There was no way you could say on a strategic approach to governing that four
Yeah.
hours later that was the decision that should have made. If you're going to make a decision like that, that's something that would need to maybe take a couple weeks. You get some people together, some of your experts as far as that goes, and have that conversation. To turn it around within 4 hours, it's a pissing contest at that point to see who has the bigger dick. And you can't govern that way. And when I say that, that's just not about tariffs. That's just anyway. You have to think and strategize these things. And like I said, I know tariffs are necessary, but as far as this whole pissing contest, it's gonna be very detrimental to the country, because there's no thought process being in as far as the ramifications that come from it. You have to approach these things in a strategic manner, and I just don't think that President Trump at this point in time has shown that he's going to do that. And I don't know what the reason being for it, if it's just he's just a hothead or what it is, but you can't govern off of emotion. It never ever is going to. It usually ends well when you govern off of emotion. And at this point,
Man,
that's what's happening, especially when a major decision like that is made 4 hours later. It just doesn't make sense to me.
and I thought they said Trump was the art of the deal, man. I mean, what happened to that? I don't know about that. I would say this. You got to think about it from this perspective. To Matt's point, to Leon's point, man, if you the everyday person, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, ain't nobody really checking for the everyday person like that. Like they just not. You got the billionaires and millionaires. They calling Trump saying, "Yo, man, look, this is messing with my portfolio. Man, I'm trying to make these business moves. We was gonna do this. We was gonna do that. We was gonna invest in Taiwan. We was gonna." And so you have that lane of the people. They just focused on getting to their bag. Then you have the pundits. You have the people. The pundits. They just talking about the strategy. What's President Trump's strategy? Is he doing this to get more out of China? They just haven't talked intellectual conversations. Then you have the influencers, the grifters on there. Some of the influencers are grifters. I mean, some of the people y'all follow are straight grifters. I ain't gonna say no
Getting paid,
names.
getting
Yeah,
paid.
and they're getting paid, right? And they just trying to jump up clicks. So they may lie to y'all and just say, "Oh man, Trump, man, he stuck it to him. Look at Trump playing 40 tests. I told y'all, look, you should just take the pill. Trump had this all along. He knew what he was doing." No, man. Like, listen, if you're an everyday person, you are going to have to think for yourself. You're going to have to find a reliable source of information, and you're going to have to just only probably follow a couple people, because a lot of people out here, a lot of social media information that you get, it's just lies. It's just lies to get you riled up about culture wars, get you riled up about, fear and hating this person. But you really have to focus and breeze through all that and really realize ain't nobody got your best interest at heart.
Yeah, and I think to your point, I don't think there's much strategy with this. And I think people, I hear what you're saying, Leon, but I think Trump has been this way his whole life. You listen to his niece talk, Mary Trump. I mean, he became president 2 times off emotions. So like, why would he do anything different? He got him this far. And I think we are in the age. This is the F you pay me administration. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
This is the F you pay me administration. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if you want something from this administration, you know what I'm saying, pay it. That's just how it is. And I think even with some of the deals that got cut, we don't know what the negotiations were behind the scenes. Like, it doesn't seem like America got that many concessions. Trump might have got some concessions. He might have got a few donations, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's the F you paid me administration. And I think a lot of Americans are realizing that, like, dang, this dude just don't care. I mean, you also had the situation last week where you had the soldiers. He decided to golf instead of actually pay respect to the soldiers. So, like I said, this is the F you pay, and he was golfing with Saudi Arabian elites. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this is the F you pay me administration, man. And I mean, that's just what you get. I don't expect anything less. I'm not upset. I think I just kind of learned what it is, no, and you just take it one day at a time.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the golfing situation, I won't get in regards to that. But like I said, from my perspective is, um, when you're governing, you have to take the approach in a strategic manner. Even if that strategy may not be something I agree with, I'm fine with that. But it can't just be off the cuff decision making. There's too much at stake going on in this world for people just to be making decisions based on, you know, how they feel at that exact moment because somebody did something 10 minutes to them earlier. And it's just a dangerous slope that we're going down if that's how he's going to govern. I mean, you bring these people into your cabinet to be your advisors to discuss these things with you. And it's hard for me to see how 4 hours after this decision was made that we come out and say, okay, this is what we're going to do without basically any extensive thought process put into it. And, you know, it's just a shame that that's the way this is going. I hope that he changes up. You know, I know, Matt, you say he's been like that his whole life. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I don't really, you know about him as far as keeping up with him outside of, you know, his time as president. But one thing I know is that I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, that's not the way you govern. You have to be able to take time out and analyze things and really take into heed what are going to be the ramifications of these decisions. And if that's the case and you're okay with it, then so be it. Even if you may not necessarily, like I say, fall in line with something I agree with, but you got to take some time out and analyze things before you just hop at them and make decisions just because it's reckless behavior and the chances are it's not going to come out good for anybody involved on either side.
Really
Um,
though, really though, Leon, I don't think so because the man ran on this. He said he was going to do tariffs. He had no strategy, and on top of that, let's just be honest. He had no platform. He had nothing for you. He had the same thing, culture wars. Trump
Yeah.
wanted to talk about culture wars. He wanted to talk about pretty much his revenge tour, what he was going to do. And I'm just telling you, this is what he said, right? You know, I know they talked about groceries and stuff like that, but they spent most of their money, follow the money, culture wars. It was culture wars,
Yeah.
tariffs, etc. So this is Trump's greatest hits. This is what he does. This is probably the magic of Trump. Yeah, this is just the magic of Trump. This is the greatest hits, bro. Like bravado. There's gonna be a lot of bravado, a lot of bluster, a lot of just, you know, hey, I got this, only I can do this. I'm the best negotiator. I'm the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever be. You know, okay, cool. All right. So show us now. I just want to see the receipts. I want to see the results. So I'm just sitting back, I'm watching, and let's see what you got, President Trump.
No.
we shall see. Well, we want to hear from you. What's your thoughts on the whole situation with President Trump in terms of his approach to handling tariffs, particularly in regards to the situation that happened with China and the two powerhouses in the world going back and forth earlier today? So go ahead and leave your comment below and share your thoughts. We want to hear your feedback on what it is that you feel about this approach that's been taken when it comes to tariffs. We do like to thank you for taking time out to watch our video. Please make sure you like, follow, share, and subscribe to all of our social media platforms to get real-time updates on our progression as we build towards the midterms and the 2028 presidential election. Also, please don't forget to take the survey so we can continue to work on putting together the Black Agenda 2028. This is an agenda of issues that affect the Black communities, as well as us as Black Americans in the United States, which ultimately we're going to take to local and federal politicians in order to have them audition for our votes in future elections. Our vote is very powerful, and we need to let these politicians know on both sides that we understand this and ultimately that they have to audition for our votes to show us that they actually deserve it. To take part in the survey, make sure you log on to www.blackagenda2028.com and complete the quick 2-minute survey and voice ultimately what matters most to you. Also, please make sure that you share the link to the survey with as many people as you can in the Black community so we can make sure that we put together an agenda that reflects the outlook of most of us. You will also be entered to win an iPhone 17 just for ultimately sharing your opinion and what means most to you. So we'd like to thank you for watching our segment today. Like I said, you guys have a beautiful day, and hopefully we can get some things in line with this tariff situation. But you guys have a great day. We thank you for your time, and we look forward to the next segment. Have a good day.
Take care, man.